Here we go, party people. Y'all know who it is. It's just me and Pop. We over here on the couch. We over here on YouTube. Y'all come check us out. Let's get into this spool of wire, man. Let's get into my man being deep and his wife missing it. Here we go.
On my mama, on my hood, I look fly. Oh Lord, I look good. Touch my swag.
Yes, sir.
I wish you would. On my mama.
Yeah.
On my.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's on a piece of a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make
I'm
sense?
sorry to hear that, and it's sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
Emotional damage.
Recently, I covered this.
All I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna make my part short. He took a spool of wire and told his wife that in this spool of wire I could see 40 years of my life because I've had this spool of wire for 40 years. And the only thing she thought of was to make fun of it. Pop, everything that he said was so deep as an ocean, and since she's so shallow as a tub, she couldn't see it.
Well, because once again, what it does is it shows that, real quick, it shows that as men, it shows the reason why a lot of times we don't open up and we don't say a lot of things to women.
It's exactly why we don't.
Because they don't get it. Because he is giving you some things and being logical, and you shoot in about a hat, because guess what? That's the difference between a logical explanation and response opposed to a emotional one. Because that's what you came with. He came with something that was so deep and so logical that you missed it, which happens all the time between men and women.
Like you said, facing his grip with morality, right? I watched 40 years of my life in this spool of wire that I bought 40 years ago. So whatever his occupation is and whatever he's done with that spool of wire, now he can sit and he can go back and he can look at 40 years of his life in that wire. So as I just said, and I'm going to get back into the episode, he was so deep as an ocean, but she was as shallow as a tub.
Absolutely.
Everything he said went right over her head.
Video where a man has a pretty poignant moment with a spool of wire where he realizes that he's had it for about 40 years and it's running out, and he kind of has this clash with mortality, only for his wife to kind of take the piss out of him by coming out and making fun of him for it. Well, the wife Cindy has responded, but she's only made things worse. So in this video, Cindy basically explains, you guys just don't have a sense of humor. Dan is fine. But the video is made even weirder because of the fact that Dan isn't even there, so all we have is her word to go off of. This video was not well received, with the top comment being, Dan is fine, and he will continue to be fine every time you ask him how he is from here on out. So then she sends Dan in to make a video, and this makes things even worse because somehow Dan ends up apologizing for all of this, saying that it was unfair for him to blindside his wife with that. Blink twice, Dan. I guess she managed to successfully convince him that if he wants to have an existential crisis, he's going to have to pencil it in on the family calendar ahead of time. It's just times like this, especially as the mother of a son, that I wish so many guys didn't fall for the whole happy wife, happy life, the wife is always right, just say sorry even if you didn't do anything wrong trope. Dan, you didn't do anything wrong. And Cindy, now you have to apologize to Dan twice.
You and I both know as we end this, right? I don't believe in happy wife, happy life. I believe in happy house, happy spouse. I need to be happy too. And if I ain't happy too, then ain't no part of me being here. It ain't just gonna be you. Now, when I say that part, I don't mean like literally my happiness like women do with their emotions. What I mean is that the same way you want to feel certain things in it, I need to feel the same way. It can't just be about you. And how did Dan let her make him feel bad? Now, do you see? You said something off camera when I first walked in here when we was cooking before we started recording, right? And what did you say to me, Pop? You said, Pop, you said, son, we let women get away with things that they would never let us get away with. Now, you see, when she shot that video and posted it, she thought it was going to be her blowing up, like being funny. What ended up happening is she ended up on the other side of the world, and the world let her know it shows you a very insensitive wife.
Yep.
It shows you don't really love him. You don't care about him. So then when she seen that, now I need to make videos defending me. So then when she did the first video, that wasn't received well in her response video. So then now we got Dan coming back. And then Dan, as this young lady just said, is pretty much out here taking the blame for it. Why is it your fault, Dan? Because your wife don't really care nothing about how you feel and what you thinking.
I think that what Dan did I think Dan did what a lot of people would actually do, believe it or not. And that was Dan's way of closing the whole entire thing.
Yes, sir.
Because
I agree.
Because of the fact that as me being Dan realized, okay, I'm going to go on and shut this down. I know I can't have a conversation like that with my wife. Ain't no need for me to get deep with her. Ain't no need for me to go there because I'm never going to be able to get the response from her that I might have been looking for because she don't really understand it. See, she didn't really understand where I was coming from.
She wasn't trying.
Thank you. So what I need to do is that I need to go and talk to another man because another man is going to realize and understand exactly what it is that I'm saying. When I tell you about 40 years, another man gonna get it. I think Dan took it, believe it or not, fellas. I think he took it and he just shut it down so that I'm done. And here's the thing. I guarantee you, Dan, when he walked away, and you said in the video, Dan will never, ever say anything to his wife like that ever again. For the rest of the time that they married, he'll never say nothing to her like that.
And he definitely won't do that. But one thing I am going to say is that what I was talking about was the part where after her first response video didn't go well, she had Dan to do another one. And then in that one, the young lady right here just said, Dan is now taking the blame, saying that he shouldn't have blindsided his wife with a subject so deep. This is what I'm talking about.
Because you don't know.
Why hold on. But what I'm saying is, Pop, why do I got to come back out and try to make another video to protect you when you were clearly in the wrong because you don't like how the internet came at you for the way you did not acknowledge my feelings and what I'm going through and what I'm thinking about. And what Dan is thinking about, and I'm going to tell you, as somebody who done hit his 40s, you start thinking about you got more days behind you.
That's right.
Than you got ahead of you.
She missed that.
He was talking about real life.
Yeah, he was, and she missed it.
She won't crack some lame ass joke.
She missed it.
This shit ain't funny.
It wasn't funny. She missed it.
He was talking about, and what she don't understand is that, like, and you and I both know as men, you can sit and you can watch all the memories, everything in that spool of wire.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch when the kids was born. You can watch when they graduated. You can watch when they went to the prom, when they learned to drive, when they went to college, when they got married. Because he said that spool of wire is 40 years, right? So in 40 years, you probably own grandkids now. So in that spool of wire, Dan is sitting there so deep about everything he's seen in his life with this spool of wire. And you come out here with some half-ass joke that didn't even hit.
Look at how fast. Here's the biggest thing that she missed.
Thank you.
About what Dan was saying.
Thank you.
Look at how fast time goes by.
Look how fast 40 years
When
went
he's
by.
sitting over there looking at that wire, one of the things I can guarantee you as a man that he's thinking, look at how fast time goes by. It's been 40 years
40 years.
already.
40 years.
Here's the thing though. And I still got some wire, but it's been 40 years already.
40 years.
She missed it.
And I said all that, and you thought it was time to crack a joke. Oh, you thought you was Kathy Griffin, huh?
And he was having a serious moment.
Oh, you thought you were Lucille Ball, huh? Oh, you really thought you was a comedian.
It's a reflection on their life.
Oh, you thought you was Roseanne Barr. You thought you was Melissa McCartney, huh?
She
Little white lady thought she was funny. He didn't find it funny. Dan didn't find that funny at all. But what was cold as we ended is this, right? You didn't like how the internet received you because the internet didn't receive you well. There was no reason to receive you well. He sat there and told you, in one spool of wire, I done watched 40 years of life on this earth go by. Not just my life, but whatever happened in the world, whatever worldly events, everything in this spool of wire has been 40 years. Every war, every crisis, every COVID situation, whatever it been in these 40 years is what Dan is talking about.
Yes.
I said all that, and you wanted to be on Comic View. You wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. You wanted to be funny. And then they wonder why we don't talk to them. They wonder why men don't open up to women. See, this why we don't. Because we can't. You see how you took that? Now you're out here mad because the internet don't like you. Well, I'm going to tell you this right here, ma'am. Shame on you.
You see what you were
Shame
doing?
on you.
You were doing what you were doing for clicks, likes, and views, and look at what it actually got you.
It's me and Pop. We over here on the couch. We over here on YouTube. Y'all come check us out.